Okay, everyone, and welcome back to the midweek wrap-up with me, Michael Nauss. If you don't know me, I'm a chartered market technician and quantitative trader. Every Wednesday, we come on the channel, we talk about what's happened so far in the week and what we may see going into the end of the week, culminating with a live stream that I do at the end of every week. This week will actually be on Monday at 7 Eastern. So if you click subscribe or the bell below, you'll get notified for that. But I sit down, I go through my entire scanning process and look at all the different markets. It's a great place to ask questions, get any charts that you're interested in analyzed and looked at. So come check that out. Also, in the link in the description below is my website that gives you access to a free trading course. If you're interested in going in from there, we have Stats Edge Pro, which is essentially what you see here that I do every night for all of the members, just in more detail. You have access to my watch list, a live Q&A, my scans, all of that kind of thing. It's not a signal service because I don't believe in those, but it's a look over my shoulder as I kind of go through my process to help you build your own. Also, all of my scanners and all the programs I use in the description as well. So let's just get right into it. We had FOMC today, and that caused a bunch of intraday craziness. But hilariously enough, we closed right where we opened. So all of these charts both look the same. So Powell basically released the 75 basis point hike, which I'm sure you've already heard of unless you're under a rock. And all of the markets started to sell. I was watching crypto. I was watching a couple FX things that I watch and the equity market, and they all started to sell. And then Powell came on and started talking. Again, I'm a technical analysis and I'm a quantitative trader, so I'm not going to watch that. But whatever he said seemed to kind of soothe the market, and we ended up closing at highs. So what will be interesting is if on that initial drop, there was enough shorts that took place that whenever we had that reversal later in the day, that those shorts are now kind of caught and nervous. So it may lead to a couple day bounce here in some of the assets I'm going to look at. So starting here with Bitcoin, again, this is obviously in a downtrend. It's a broken chart. It looks really, really ugly. But if you look at the last 3 or 4 days, there has been these massive bottoming tails. So maybe a sign of some accumulation in this area. And again, after JPOW started speaking, whatever he was talking about, he seemed to kind of soothe the market. And we had this little rally here in Bitcoin. So I think 20,000 is a big psychological level. If you want to, bottom pick and you want to play off of a level, you can check that 20,000 out. And you could just say, okay, if we're above 20,000, maybe that's where I'll get long. And then you got the bottom of this wick here to play off of. ADA, Cardano. I'm watching over 66 cents here. It's the anchored VWAP from this high right here. And if you compare this to the Bitcoin chart, which broke down and made new lows, this one's actually been holding pretty well at this kind of 45-cent level. So I got my eyes on this to see if it can get over this recent high. I think that would be a good place to play some relative strength. On the traditional currency front, this Euro GDP was very interesting. Big rally early in the day and then sold off later in the day. So kind of maybe trapped in some longs that were playing this resistance break. So I'm going to see if this continues tomorrow or the next day, see if I can snag a little short there. Down for the S&P 500, you can see my note here, a lot of noise for no movements. We were crashing right after the rate hike, and then we rallied right after Powell started talking, and then he left the mic, and then we tanked back down. So crazy action. But right now we've got this kind of little island going on. So if we bounce or if we gap up tomorrow, that may be a technical pattern called an island reversal. So I'm going to be watching for that. If we see a bounce in this area and we don't immediately fade that bounce and start to move higher, I may pop into some longs just because an island reversal is essentially a gap down, a little bit of movement sideways, and then a gap up and a continuation. And quite often it can be a pretty bullish pattern. So I like to play those when I see them. Some other ETFs I'm watching, XBI, which is our biotech ETF. We've got potential double bottom forming. Again, if you're a bottom fisher, you've got a nice clean level to play off of there. XME, which is metals, so anything from steel to gold. You can see we're holding that level right there that we broke out of the other day. So again, this would be one that's interesting to watch. Individual equity names, full disclosure, I'm already in this one, but I still really like the look of this UTHR. We broke out of this prior resistance zone and we've come right back to test it, and now it looks like we're moving higher. MNRO, we had this bull trap or bear trap where we gapped under this support and then we rallied back up over. So I'm looking to play this one off this support if we start to move higher, and if we break down, I'm obviously not interested. LU, China as a whole has been interesting, and this LU is putting in this nice kind of rounded bottom here with a very clean resistance area. If we can get through that, I'm interested there. And PLAB, which is semiconductor, same kind of pattern, right? Break of a prior resistance, come back and test it. Looks like we're bouncing off, so we have a zone to play off of here. So just again, if you're interested in more of this kind of content, you can come on over to statsedgetrading.com. I got some merch right here. Come check it out. If you're interested in just hanging out the live stream, again, that will be on the channel. Just subscribe and hit that little bell and it will send you a notification. But I'm planning on doing Monday around 7 Eastern. So, trade safe out there, guys. It's a volatile market, so just be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.